Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we cover a new character every week. I'm your host, Fred.
Oh, I'm Brad.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Steven.
And today we're doing Vision. That's what I forgot to say. We're doing Vision today. Hey, how is everyone doing? All right, so, Steven, how are you doing? You sound like you've had a rough time.
Yeah, just getting over a cold. So this is the after effect. My voice goes very, very deep.
He's got that real mellifluous voice.
Yeah, so I can play evil characters better, I guess.
Yeah, you've got an evil laugh now.
True.
How are you doing, Brad?
Doing fine.
That's good to hear. How are you, Brandon?
I'm good.
all
Cannot complain at all.
Yeah, we're all doing all right. We're all doing all right. It is it's the first snow that we've had in a little while here in West Virginia. We've got snow on the ground. It's a nice change for this season. And it's also above freezing where I currently am, so it's all disappearing quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh well. It can only last for so long. I think
we're going down to 8 degrees, Fred. So
yeah. It'll on Tuesday. It's gonna be down pretty low here as well. Holding out hope for some snow. But anyway, let's go to the news and announcements from Atomic Mass Games. So there is one minor thing that they are. Does this count as an errata, or is it just a clarification about Red Skull? I think it is an errata because it's changing the wording on his affiliation leadership. So, Red Skull, Master of the World, they are changing the leadership so that instead of acting like the reality gem, where you just take one of the skull results in your final pool and it becomes a crit result, you have to make that choice after the first roll. Like, you can't roll no skulls and then roll a skull from a crit afterwards and then count that. You have to roll the skull in the first set of dice you roll.
yeah, from what I know, Fred is step 6 of the timing chart in the attack roll.
Okay, that is helpful. I've not looked at the timing chart in a long time. Step 6. Okay.
A lot of questions I get from you guys about rules interactions could be solved by you guys looking at the timing chart.
Yeah, but you're right there and you know the answer.
Yeah, like
Wow.
the other day when someone said, it was last night when Michael asked, or it might have been Brandon, with Crimson Dynamo, does you get rerolls?
That was Michael.
Yeah, do you get rerolls before Crimson Dynamo or after? You modify your own before you modify your opponent's.
Yep.
I modify me, you modify you, I modify you, you modify me.
Yep.
Yeah, so it is a minor change. It is not a huge tweak to how he plays.
And to be fair, Michael also doesn't play very often.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
He's a hell of a player for how little he plays. But back to Red Skull. It is a minor tweak. I think that it's just something that maybe came up and they wanted to do a clarification or just errata him just slightly. I don't think that this is going to make any major effect to how effective he is on the table. I think he's still going to be pretty solid.
It's going to be a pretty major difference.
Is it? Do you think it's going to be a major difference?
It was for Domino.
Okay.
It was for Domino.
Yeah,
It
because
was.
Domino could
It was. It was
prepay her
for.
power. Yeah.
Yeah, it was for Malekith.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. I
I don't think it makes him
I don't.
unplayable, but he's noticeably worse with this errata.
Well, with both characters you just mentioned, their play when the ruling came down really didn't go down that much, though. People still thought it was worth the squeeze, you know. So
Yeah.
now, when Malekith got touched the second time, that's when people were like, "Nah, we're not going to play him that much anymore."
So they're gonna have to rewrite his entire leadership.
Yeah, they are. I don't know exactly the wording that they are going to use, but they do need to rewrite his leadership.
Well, they rewrote Sam's leadership too, and people don't know it unless they've looked it up, right? And they still haven't printed another card for that.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, I think that that's not really gonna
To be fair, Sam's
massively
wasn't
change.
necessarily rewritten. They added a word to it. They're gonna have to completely change this entire thing.
I think they could add a couple words. They just have to add the timing in there.
Yeah, just say
Hmm.
during the modified dice.
Well, because this it
No,
says once
it's
per
not the
turn was rolling dice as part of an attack roll. It may treat one skull result as a crit result. Period. Like that whole sentence has to be completely different.
Well, you could just say it times off the attack rolls, like right when you roll dice, not
well, all they'd have to
anything else.
add is before rolling for crits
Mhm.
or before resolving crits or criticals or whatever the wording is.
Domino's
Yeah.
card hasn't changed though either, has it?
No, they
For her
just
timing.
They change how that works in general, not so much just like her.
Yes. The timing never changed. It's just whether you can prepay for stuff or not. They changed that. You can't prepay.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, at least it puts consistency with what he is doing now. So
Don't think it is consistent at all because it's not the same thing.
no, the consistency in how his power works, not consistency with the dice.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't add anything. Like it just makes it drastically worse. It's not adding consistency. It's not doing anything like better. It's just making it strictly worse.
It is making it worse. I don't think it makes it drastically worse. What it's doing is it's making it so that any skulls you roll from crit results will not count. Can't be counted.
Or rerolls.
Or rerolls, you're right. Or rerolls. So
Well,
yeah, it is worse.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
debating it is worsening the power, but it's not
a lot
like
worse.
crushingly worse. It's still definitely a valuable thing to have.
Somebody that
I don't
isn't
know.
me can do the math.
None of us are qualified.
I
We
don't-
don't have degrees.
I don't wanna. I just don't wanna. I could.
Okay,
I
fair.
just don't wanna.
All right. Well, I think that we should move on. So that's like a shift in Red Skull. Otherwise, there's no new news that we have so far. We're still holding out hope that we're going to hear about what Professor X does, what the new X-Men and the new Spider Foes do
Fred,
in the near future,
Fred,
but we have not yet heard.
I'm
What?
curious. Besides Professor X, what X-Men do we not have cards for?
Bishop
Very good.
and
Nice.
Iceman.
Very good. I am surprised.
Thank you, Steven. I was struggling with the last one.
Yeah, we did get articles for the Wakanda box this week. The cards we already had.
Right.
But hopefully next week we get somebody new.
Yeah, I'm holding out hope. Okay, well, there are some tournaments that are coming up that we want to shout out. On the 20th of January, there is going to be a tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston. It is run by Brad. Come on down. We'll have fun. On the 27th of January, there is a tournament being run by Bryce at Fabricators Forge in Pittsburgh. If you're in that area, you should have already been to Fabricators Forge. It's great. It's very cool, and it's a well-run tournament. Head on out there and play some games with those folks. And coming up in the near future is LVO. Oh boy, I don't remember the date.
You fly
19,
out
20, and
Wednesday,
21st.
right?
19th, 20th, and 21st of January.
Right. I fly
and
out Wednesday, which is the 17th. So I'll have like a free day for myself. out there.
Have some fun out there in Las Vegas.
Just, well, this is the only reason I'm going to Las Vegas. Otherwise, it holds no interest for me. So,
Right. Yeah. Same.
So.
Similar. And I also want to call out that on March 9th, there is going to be a larger scale tournament at Missing Falls Brewery in Akron, Ohio. And this is one that requires you to have a fully painted list. So make sure you keep that in mind when putting together your roster. Again, that is in Akron, Ohio on March the 9th, and it is the Missing Falls Brewery.
If I can interject one thing about Missing Falls, I think they're requiring painted because this is the first time that they're doing it there. So they kind of want to make an impression on the people who are, giving up the space. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, it's kind of like dress to impress, right? So I think that's why they're requiring a paint
I think
requirement.
I think everyone on this cast is right now planning to go. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm a variable though, because I might be out fixing a paper mill. So
I'm also a variable. I'm like 75% goal. 75%.
We did come up with a plan for you and Borka.
Yes, and it's a good plan, and I like it. I just we'll see. We'll see.
Funny anecdote. I have everything ready to go for LVO, except I haven't decided on my last chance qualifier roster. Got all my timelines set, but here I sit, and my main roster I haven't even decided yet. So.
So, but that okay. So you were prepared for your timelines list, but you haven't put together your last chance qualifier list.
No, I haven't. I finished up my painting last night. Even my measurement sticks, the new ones that we're supposed to be using, painted those up. But as of right now, I'm going back and forth between a couple of lists, and I just can't make up my mind.
Are you building it? Are you restricting yourself to just timeline models for that list?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I thought maybe for space.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's really hamstring him.
Well, for space, bag space, I thought maybe he had to.
Well,
I'm gonna. Brad, we're getting some weird distortion coming from your end.
Sorry,
I'm wondering if it's.
No, am I good now?
Yes, it's better. Okay.
Well, I packed my bag last night, and I have. I'm carrying along with me 46 models. So.
Wow.
So, but I don't know. I'm thinking about doing Defenders Convocation just to do something different.
Are you already qualified? So you don't really need the last chance qualifier. So you could bring something fun.
Brad qualified. I did not qualify.
Oh, okay.
And to tell you the truth, I'm just interested in playing games. I really don't care if I get a spot or not. Okay. If I do get a spot, I will decline because I'm more interested because Timelines has been confirmed. It will go on. So.
Okay.
They have enough people. Signed up.
I think they're going to make it. Well, you don't sign up until you get there.
Oh,
So.
okay.
But I guess enough people have expressed interest because I was listening to the podcast and the people who were doing that, and they said, yeah, timelines will go off. So
That's good, because I
Okay.
really thought it might not.
so
Do you think I don't know what your schedule looks like, but do you think that you will be able to call in next week to our podcast, and let us know how things went?
we will see. I still might be playing,
You might still be playing. Yeah, you're right. Because we record on Sundays.
because they start gaming at 9 or 10 and they go till midnight every
Oh my
every day.
goodness. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
it's a lot. I'm going to have MCP overload
Yeah, yeah, you are.
in a good
All right.
way.
Well, we may not hear from about how things went next episode, but the following episode we're gonna ask you for a full breakdown how
Yeah,
your thing went.
I guess I'll have to take notes then. So
All right. Well, that's it for upcoming news and announcements. I think that we should move on to games that we've played recently. All right. So I know that I've played quite a few games. I've played 4 games since we last recorded, and that's a lot for me. I'm not like the rest of you who really gets the games in. So I'll talk about my first couple games. I played 3 games in one night against Jared. We were doing his Web Warriors versus my Spider Foes. And we got so many games in because the games tended to end quickly.
It was a best of 3 for superiority of hosting this podcast.
Wait, what?
It was the best of 3 for the winner gaining superiority of hosting this podcast.
Oh man. Oh, high stakes. But I did win 2 out of the 3 of these games. He was playing Web Warriors and I was playing Spider Foes, and the first game he crushed me because I was trying to do a scenario focused Spider Foes, which they usually are pretty good at, but they just can't do it better than Web Warriors. Web Warriors are the best maybe at scenario focus. So instead, the following 2 games, I just said I'm gonna beat his team to death, and I did exactly that. I out attritioned him. I won both of those games. The second game we played was kind of close. It was a nail biter, but I did pull it out. But then the third game, this is the one that it was on Demons Downtown, and I smashed him. It was an annihilation. I won pretty handily. Uh, I really like my list of Spider Foes. It's I've got Ghost Rider and Hulk in there, as well as Scourge for a flex 3. So I've got some interesting effective sub in models. What is the term? Splash models. Splash models. And I'm really enjoying the list I've put together. All right, that's it for my first couple games.
well, Fred, I have a burning question for you.
Oh yeah, what's your question?
Did you get a chance to play Mysterio?
No, I didn't play Mysterio. I was gonna
Oh,
I was gonna put Mysterio in the spot where I put Scourge in my list,
mhm.
and I think Scourge just does what I'm doing a lot better than
Fair enough.
Mysterio.
But you said
I
you were going to put him on the table.
I
I'm
did
sad.
say that, and I lied.
Fred
I
is
lied
a
like
dirty,
a bad person.
rotten liar.
I am a dirty, rotten liar.
DRL. That's your new nickname, DRL.
Dirty, rotten liar. All right. Well, that's my first game that I want to talk about. Who wants to go?
Brandon.
I've played 6 games this week.
No.
I, unlike Fred, was not a liar. I did put Mysterio on the table.
Well, I appreciate that. Hopefully he did well, and if he didn't, I am sorry he failed you again.
He didn't really do anything.
Hello?
And can you hear me, Fred? You okay?
Yeah, sorry. I switched my mic off, and I was having some trouble getting it back on. My bad.
So I played him into a. I don't think it was a bad scenario for him. It was Superpowered Scoundrels and Riot Sparks. I think was the D. No, those are both secures, aren't they? It was Riot Sparks and I don't know, one of maybe Senators, one of the extracts that are in my list. But I know it was Riot Sparks. He did stuff, I guess, but he didn't actually do anything. I don't think he made like a single attack
Oh wow!
because I couldn't get him into range of anybody.
But that's what you like. You don't like roll. You don't. You hate
The
rolling dice.
problem was I couldn't get him on a point either. So like it was slightly problematic. He was fine. I tried to get in a place to where I could use the Grand Illusion, and I did. It was just really kind of ineffective, unfortunately, because it was a really spread out scenario.
Mhm.
So it was easy to get away from him. And not having range on his attacks was ended up being kind of detrimental in this situation. It wasn't like the most abysmal thing. Like he tried to attack a couple of times and just the 4 dice just weren't doing anything. I did actively forget to tricks and traps one time, which was sad face, but I mean he stood around. I mean the problem was I played him over the new crossbones, which was probably unfortunately ineffective because the new crossbones is really good. Um,
Well, at least you tried them. So
yeah, I'm not like I wasn't against it. I was gonna play him again. The problem was like the scenarios I wanted to play him in. It's hard to fit him in those scenarios, which was the kind of the only real problem.
mhm.
Like I kind of wanted to play him on like Superpowered Scoundrels or like Infinity Formula where he can just kind of sit back.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
he doesn't fit. Like it's hard to play him over like Crossbones, who does have a beam 3 5 dice as his like primary attack,
Right.
and then like Lizard can easily get to the back point. Black Cat can get to the back points. So it's just kind of like fitting him in more than anything. I
No,
feel like
that's
I may have missed the window on getting him in, but I tried it. I definitely tried it, but I played 3 games
well.
against Ryan, playing Hellfire. He was playing Hellfire Club. I was playing Criminal Syndicate. I've mostly just been testing models. I was trying Mysterio and Winter Soldier against Ryan. Mysterio made the roster. To be fair, he was in the roster for all 3 games that I played. He just only really kind of fit the one time. I did play Winter Soldier.
Mhm.
2, I think. I played him 3 of the 6 games that I played. With the Soldat activated, and I think it's just a little too much. I think it's fine. I just think there's better things you could be doing with that 4 threat and the tactics card, which I will talk about later. But those were the 3 games that I played on. I think I went 2-1 or 1. They were all close games. I can't remember. I honestly wasn't really focused on. I was more focused on trying to get the most out of like the characters I was testing more than I was like actually trying to like win the game. But I think I went. I lost the game with Mysterio, and then I won. I played 4 games against Ryan. I think I went 2-2 against Ryan, so I think I've played 7 games this week.
Oh my goodness. I thought I played a lot.
I'll have to ask him, but those are the games I played against Ryan. I want to say we went 2-2 because I want to say we like because I lost one, lost one. Yeah, we played 4, so I went 2-2 against Ryan. But learned a lot. Got some models in. I got to play some models, some testing models. I've been testing a lot of different models. I like where it's at this very moment. The last game I played with Ryan, I did swap out some models. I tried. Mysterio's spot got taken by Juggernaut. I did play Juggernaut on the scenario was Research Station and Riot Sparks because for whatever reason it's always freaking Riot Sparks when I play them. And Juggernaut did very good on that scenario. So
yeah, that seems like it's absolutely built for Juggernaut.
it did good. So those were the 4 of the 7 games that I played. I forgot. I miscounted. I apologize.
Okay. Steven, do you have any games that you want to talk about?
Yeah, unlike you gentlemen, I only got 2 in. So, but this was with my last timelines list, and I was playing my X-Force Avengers list, and in both games I played X-Force primarily because in our first game, which was against Gilberto, he was trying out Doc Ock foes on the timelines also. We pulled cubes and demons, and
Okay.
we played that at 19. I had Cable, Wolverine, Deadpool, Quicksilver, and Psylocke for this one, and he went really hard into Psylocke. So unfortunately, Brad, I didn't get to see her do her stuff, so to speak. Opposite me was Ultron, Doc, Lizard, Rhino, and Pyro. But I ended up winning that game, and I think I won that game because he was too aggressive with Ultron, and I had taken Ultron out. And then he goes, "I play Age of Ultron." I'm like, "Gilberto, Age of Ultron is not in timelines," and it was like a misplay. So I really don't count that game.
Ooh.
To tell you the truth, because like I said, he was playing Ultron very aggressively, and if he probably would have known that Age of Ultron was not legal in timelines, he probably wouldn't. He probably would have played a different game. Is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So lessons learned, right? And then I played my friend Mike next, and he went with Sentinels. He was playing Prime, an MK4, Taskmaster, the new Crossbones, and Red Skull, the new one. And
Okay.
we were playing on Cubes and Demons again
Same one.
at 19. So
Oh boy.
I played the same team, except I took Psylocke out and I put Colossus in. And it worked very, very well. And Cable, in both games, but especially this one, he was a monster. He single-handedly took out Sentinel Prime by himself.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he burned through 15 of his 18 health. So
Holy moly.
it was quite massive. Yeah.
Cable. Good lord.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's my cubes list because I have 2 healing factor characters, obviously, in Wolverine and Deadpool, and they did what they did. They grabbed up some cubes, kept healing, kept getting power. So, and I was using Deadpool as my backline camper, and then Quicksilver was my annoyance factor because he moves double long, right? So I went and got one of his cubes on his side, so it kind of put pressure on him right from the beginning and diverted his attention, which was good. So, no, it was all good. It was good practice. I didn't have a chance to run Steve in any games, but I'm sure a reroll is kind of similar to what Cable's reroll is kind of similar to what Steve does in changing and die. So I'm not saying they're the same. It's
Yeah.
just
Well,
one's a chance and one's a for sure, I guess.
right,
So.
right, yeah. I think that the for sure is probably a little bit. You have to have a hit though for
Correct.
so it, and that comes up later in some of Brad's games, I know for a fact. But yeah, I think that the new Sam one is amazing. I think it's an amazing leadership.
The
Not
new Sam
Sam,
one?
Steve.
Steve.
Steve. Sorry.
Wow.
Wrong Captain America on the brain.
Yeah, there you go. So, but hopefully I'll get a couple of more practice games before I go out there, but we'll see. So,
All right. Well, Brad, do you want to talk about some games you've played recently?
No. Yeah. I've been playing a shield list recently.
Yeah, a shield list.
A shield list. It's exactly what it is, Fred.
Yep. It's a shield
it
list.
actively can play shield.
It actually can play shield. Okay.
I've been playing new Captain America. Sam. I keep wanting to call him Vanguard.
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian. Because he used to be, the guy in the Red Guardian suit used to be Vanguard. The superhero called Vanguard. That's why I keep wanting to call it that. And
Taskmaster.
Cyclops. Deadpool. I played Quicksilver. That was a mistake.
Disagree.
It was though.
Yeah.
And then so all these people have triggers that when they get the triggers, they get to make an extra attack. The whole point of the list was to play Cyclops. So I play Cyclops every game. And he's real good. He gets that what's the trigger called? Fast as lightning? No. Speed of
sight.
Speed of sight. He gets that speed of sight trigger a lot. Taskmaster's been pretty good in the list. I've played it 5 times total. I've won 4 of those games. I beat Brandon playing Convocation. I've played Aaron 3 times, and then Fred beat me last night. Pretty bad, but I don't think I was playing the best version of my list.
Okay.
Fred was playing the best version of his list.
He did immediately put Hulk down and said, "I'm not playing Hulk." But his list was still real good.
I think that may have been the right choice, even to not play Hulk, and I went as wide as I could.
Yeah, I think that was the right choice. The list has killed She-Hulk every time I've played Aaron, which is pretty good, especially since I am killing her while killing everyone else. So I've killed a bunch of people. I did not kill people in Fred's list, and that's why I lost.
Mm-hmm.
The list has been really fun. I'm never taking it to a tournament.
Aw.
I'm not going to put an Avengers game on my Longshanks record. Yeah, right.
Why not?
Only mutants.
You could do a shield. He has. You have Iron Man. The 4-point Iron Man in there, right?
Yes.
So you could do shield leadership.
In our last game, Fred, I should have played one of the lists that had Invincible Iron Man and new Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
That would have been a lot better against you.
Yes, it would have. New Captain Marvel is devastating against spider foes. She can throw me. She can go in hard and do that. Oh, I forget. It's Warhawk or something. Her attack on her binary form
Warbird.
side.
Warbird,
Warbird.
which was her
Yeah.
third code name.
Okay. Yeah. It messes me up. It like gets my guys all out of position.
Yeah, it's good. She's so good. I've
Really,
played
I
her.
agree.
I've played her once so far, and both times she transformed, she only had 6 power, but she put in work with still only 6 power. It's crazy. If you get 10 on her, it's perfect.
Yeah. That's. I mean, she only needs 6 power to do 2 warbirds on her binary form side.
Yeah,
and then she turns back into her
but you can't
power generating
use
side.
the leadership, and you can't
okay.
and you can't do a throw. If you have 9 power, I think her throws 2. You can do 2 warbirds, use the leadership, and do a throw.
Okay. Yeah. Then you get to live the dream.
Yeah, you can do everything. But that was not the case when I played her.
Yeah.
She's good though. New Iron Man's cool. I'm having fun with the list. Just something to try out for casual games. There's not a lot of pressure to win because it's not a tournament list. It's just a good time.
Yeah. So in our game, I've been debating the value of the new Doc Ock card. This is our day, which is the one that came in the new box where you get to place an objective token if you drop it, and you can place it within range 3 instead of 2. So you get to control where it goes instead of your opponent. And also it does a damage to all enemies within range 1. Oh, within range 2 if you get dazed or KO'd, if any of your models get dazed or KO'd. But
Fred.
well, oh, sorry. Yeah.
We lost you for a second. You're back.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think that it may not be very useful because you have to be behind on VPs, in which case you probably don't hold a bunch of the extract objective tokens. I mean, just making assumptions here. And you end up not using it all that much. Like it's hard to be. It's not going to change being up, being down on VPs very much. I think it's not a good card, even though it looks like it's amazing off just looking at it.
I would say it's a specific card for specific scenarios.
I agree. It just doesn't seem to come up all that much. When I'm losing with spider foes, I'm losing like big time. And when I'm
Web Warriors hate it.
Okay.
Because they have little health pools, right?
Right.
Especially if they
damage.
They also have lots of ways to make you drop it without dazing you.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
And then you can drop it away. And Fred, if you could play that when you're ahead and you played it and you actually played it like that last turn of our game, I would have 0 chance of winning. I already was very little chance, but that would have taken away all chances of winning. So I think that's why.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
It's I'm not saying that it's busted. It's I'm just saying that I think it's not as good as it appears nakedly on its surface.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you got behind Jared when he was running Web Warriors, right?
Yeah.
Scenario team. That's what that card's for.
Well, in that case, I was so far behind that effect would not make a big difference. And in the game that I played against Brad, I was so far ahead that I was never going to be able to play it. Like it's for the really really tight games, and
it's probably for the scenarios that have 5 or 6 objectives.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's where I'm at. All right. So that was that's all the games that I've played. Brandon, do you still have some games you want to talk about? Have we lost Brandon?
Oh no.
We're having technical difficulties today, everybody. It's just it's that kind of a day.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hey, my mic just came unplugged. That's my fault.
That happened to me earlier in the record, so it's going around.
So
I
I
believe
play.
Brandon. I do not believe Fred.
You don't believe me?
I wouldn't believe Fred either. He's a pathological liar. Anyway,
DRL.
I played 2 games against Borka's Avengers. I won the first game. I lost the second game. I got tabled the second game. So the second game was 14-14 in round 5, and I got tabled. I thought I was going to get tabled that entire game. It was just a little bit slower happening. It just ended up not being a super scenario point wise, and it felt a lot better for him long term, and it kind of just it slowly came around and just kind of did it all at once. It was Mayor Fisk and the oh god, what is that called? The
Montesi formula.
extra, yeah, Montesi formula. Um, and we played 16, maybe 16. I don't know. We either played 16 or 18. Obviously, I don't remember exactly which one. But it worked out really well in his favor, and it was. It never felt good for me, which did cause a point of some changes in contention. It felt like some of the models that I had were more redundant. And then I played Michael's Hydra last night and playing Crimson Dynamo over Beta Ray Bill, and it Dynamo just felt beyond amazing. And nothing, that's nothing against Beta Ray Bill. It just Dynamo did everything I needed him to do pretty much the entire game. It was cubes and infinity formula, so he had all the power in the world the entire game. He was able to, anytime needed to, he was able to reroll opponent's dice, which saved take 3 total damage. And the only 2 times I got to do it, but he was able to place himself around and make the 2 attacks, the 2 beam 4 attacks, getting like he kept shock on Pyro and Baron Zemo, and even I think Spider Woman had shock for a while. So he was able to just get shock out repetitively by just making multiple attacks. And he just felt really, really good.
I think
I did lose the game because I did math bad, which was funny. I found it funny, which then allowed me to sit out a game of Splendor and watch Fred dominate Brad, which was also fun.
Yeah, unfortunately, Fred was doing a pretty similar strategy to me and was right before me in the turn order. So that was unfortunate.
Yeah. I think it went great.
I also think it went great because the next game we played Splendor, and my half asleepness, I did the exact same thing you did, and I just screwed Brad the entire game and won.
All right, so Crimson Dynamo. I think he kind of rules. I know that this is known.
Wow,
but
what
he
a
is some
what
he is,
a ice cold take. What a take that everyone else has already made.
Yeah. I kind of slept on him for a while. Like it was. I mean, it was just he just does everything you need him to do, especially in like Syndicate, the way I play. So it felt really, really good, and he felt like almost a perfect fit. So
yeah.
I want to keep testing him, but I think I really like where the list is right now and the 3 models that I have in here. I kind of went more for. So the first game against Borka, we flipped Research Station on extracts, and then because it was his secures on my extracts, and we flipped Research Station at Gamma, and we decided that game wasn't. That game did not do what he wanted to do, which is test against Syndicate, because that game's a landslide. So we re-rolled the secure and played a different one. Played Sword Base, which was a lot better of a game. So, but that really kind of put me in a spot where I never. I mean, I've always thought about like Gamma and like demons, but I didn't always really have a plan. And I think now I have a plan, and I think I was trying to be a little too much before, and I think now I'd actually have like a legitimate plan, and like I never needed those extra models for the most part, and they make that matchup miles better now. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. Are there any other games that we played recently that anyone wants to talk about?
Not of MCP.
Do you want to talk about a different game?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. I think that it is now time to talk about the person that we are here to discuss today, and that is Vision, otherwise known as Victor Shade. He has 6 health on both sides of his card. He's a medium mover, size 2, 4 threat. And his defenses are 2 physical, 2 energy, and 4 mystic. And we will come back to that because his defenses seem bad. They are not bad. All right. Let's start with Brad. Brad, why don't you cover his attack suite?
Okay, his first attack is an energy attack called Solar Energy Beam. It is, of course, a beam 4. It's 5 dice, costs 0. It gains a power and it saps power for a wild. Equal number of wilds. Next one's Physical Synthezoid Avenger. It's range 3, 7 dice, costs 4. The defending character does not add crit results to its defense roll, to its total successes, and cannot add additional dice to its defense roll as a result of crit results.
Okay. Brandon, why don't you cover the first 2 superpowers on there?
Oh, the superpower is the. Give me a second. It unloaded.
Okay. Steven, why don't you cover the first 2 superpowers on there?
Okay, the first one, we have an active superpower called Calculated Trajectory. Costs 2 power. Choose a terrain feature or an enemy character, both size 3 or less and within 2, and throw it medium. Superpower can be used only once per turn. And then another active superpower, Synthesis. It will cost you 0 power. It is an action. This character gains 2 power.
Okay. And Brandon, why don't you finish out the card?
All right, so he has a reactive superpower called Rapid Phase. For 2 power, when this character is targeted by an enemy attack, this character may use the superpower. It can remove the current phasing type, then choose a new phasing type. He has a static ability called Phasing. During the power phase, you choose a phasing type, Enhanced Density. This character rolls 3 additional dice when defending its physical attacks and cannot be pushed until the start of the next power phase. Or Phase, this character rolls 3 additional dice when defending its energy attacks and does not suffer collision damage until the start of the next power phase. He has Flight, and he's immune to bleed and poison.
Okay. So that is Vision. And my first thought is he's really good, and it's surprising I don't see him on the table all the time. I
Would you
feel
like
like
to know why?
I would like to know why. Yes.
This is the evolution. This is actually, in my estimation, the alpha test for Beta Ray Bill.
Okay.
Because before Bill came on the scene and before Rogue came on the scene, everybody was going to Vision for his kit. He has a size 3 throw that's both terrain and people. He's immune to bleed and poison. He generates his own power, has a beam attack. He flies. And then vision dropped off when Rogue came in because her throw got bigger. It was terrain only, but you could do a size 4 on her spender. She had damage reduction. She was immune to poison. She did a charge because he's pretty static. And then she has mutant absorption. And then the final iteration is Bill, who has a size 4 throw, both character and terrain on a superpower. Generates 2 power a turn. Has Summon the Storm. He has damage reduction, which he pays 1, but he can go down to 0. He has aggressive for his movement, and he's immune to incinerate, bleed, and poison. So this is your alpha test for Beta Ray Bill.
Okay. Man, I don't. Beta Ray Bill rules. I understand why you would say why anyone would take Beta Ray Bill over Vision, but
Right, but I'm saying when Beta Ray Bill wasn't around, when Rogue wasn't around, this was the go-to character.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go in on a couple of the notable things here. His throw is only 2 power. That's so cheap for a medium range throw. He can throw a size 3 thing medium. And his
Pretty
phasing
good,
ability.
I can tell you about that.
What?
That size 3 medium throws are really good. I can tell you
Yeah.
about those.
Yeah, they're really good. And his phasing ability means that he can easily have 5 defense on either physical or energy, and he can also use rapid phase to change between the two that he's got. It only costs him 2 power. That's a really strong defensive ability. On top of that, he can be phased. He has when he's in the energy defense mode, he is immune to impact. Or I should say, he does not suffer collision damage. So, people throw stuff at him, and he doesn't take damage. I think that's really strong. It's a really strong ability. Brandon, what are your thoughts here on Vision? Just looking at it.
I mean, Vision's really good. I mean, it's not like the biggest problem with Vision is that he's only affiliated as an Avenger, and he came out at the beginning of the game. Like, those are the only things that really hold him back. Like, he does a lot of good things, but he's the 4th threat in the deepest threat pool now, and he lives in a world where he only has one affiliation that has, I think, 15 other 4s affiliated. So, like, his competition is just really heavy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what holds him back the most.
I think that's correct. I think you're right.
Sorry, there are 12 other 4s in affiliation with the Avengers.
Okay.
So, I think that's the biggest thing that holds him back. I think everything else he does is really good. The only thing about it is, like, the rapid phase is, like, I feel like he wants to use his power on the, like, offense with the throw, and his spinder's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hard to kind of have the rapid phase available. I mean, it's not hard, but probably doesn't feel as good. I wish it was more like Red Skull, where he had the physical, because you're almost always having to choose enhanced density, and then leaving yourself weak to the energy. I wish it was more like Red Skull's, where it was 4-2-2, and you got to buff energy or mystic.
Because those attacks are way less likely than physical.
Yeah, the physical is physical is the most common attack type in the game by a large margin. So I think you're almost always choosing that, and you're just kind of leaving yourself a little bit vulnerable to those energy attacks. And then, like, if you sub out, like, you've got to make sure you can keep subbing back and forth, but you're just burning through all your power. And then on offense, he doesn't have, like, a builder. He only has the gainer, which can gain multiple power, but at the same time, like, you want to have that throw available. And Synthesoid Avenger, the attack is a really good attack, so, like, you kind of want to have it. I feel like he becomes a little power hungry, which is where
he does have the ability to just create energy, just create power using an action.
Yeah, that's no fun. That's not.
Yeah,
what
I
you
know.
wanna
You're
do.
right.
That's
It
not what you
sucks
want
to
to be
do.
doing.
Do you know when
Yes.
I've used that action, Fred?
Are you gonna say 0 times?
No. Twice.
Okay.
In the beginning
Twice.
of at the beginning of turn one, and then I do advanced RNG to the rest of my team.
Ooh. Okay. That's actually a really good combination.
And
It's a
that's the
scenario.
only time I've used it.
Yeah, I think. I mean, like I used it on Dynamo last night by moving up on the back B point, and then just the second action just gains power. Like those are the times you're doing stuff like that. It's not something that's going to come up very often, but he does have 12 health. He doesn't have any kind of like natural reduction or anything. Um, but I mean, he's still really good. A beam 4/5 dice is really good. Um,
That saps
as
power.
yeah, as Crimson Dynamo. Yeah, that's the thing. I was because I was really looking at that versus like Dynamo's attack, which is the exact same except for it gives shock. I'd probably almost always rather give shock, unfortunately, than sap power.
Yeah.
Shock just throws so many wrenches in people's plans. But the Synthesoid Avenger is something I don't think anyone else really talked about enough. That attack is really, really good.
Right.
That
Because your
attack is really good. You will
Yeah.
never do it.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. Like you're always going to want to have power to do all the other stuff. So it's
Maybe
I feel like the power thing.
Maybe if he got dazed and has 10 power, you'll do it once.
Yeah, which stinks because it feels like you really want to do that like as often as you can, and it
You
just
just can't. But
Yeah.
his gainer beam is very good. So it's
yeah, that attack's great. That wasn't I wasn't doubting it. It's just funny because it's like the exact same one on Dynamo, but they're both amazing. Like even the beam 3/5 dice on Crossbones 2 is becoming one of my favorite things. Like it's such a good attack to have that as like a gainer.
Yeah. All right. Brad, do you have anything you want to talk about Vision?
I mean, I think we've pretty much said everything. Throw's good, Spender's good, you can't do it. Gainer's really, really good. The phasing and rapid phase are fine.
Is that the spender what takes it down to 3 total ways to get successes on defense? A wild is there 2 shields or 1 shield?
One
There's 2
There's
shield.
only
shields,
one
right?
shield.
Yeah.
It's one
So that
shield.
gives it a 25% chance per die to get a block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I've played a lot of Kitty Pride at this point, who has the same rules, and it's very good.
I think there's only 2 other characters that have a similar attack. Besides these 2, the 2 we mentioned, Vision and Kitty Pride, Scarlet Witches, and Ancient One.
Oh yeah, Ancient One.
Ancient One puts out a stagger plus all the stuff she does.
Ancient One's attack. That attack is actually amazing, for the record.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's Vision. He's honestly, there's not a whole lot of complexity here. Everything is pretty laid out here on his card.
He is an amazing like beginner model. Like
Yeah.
I'd say Avengers players should still be playing him.
you should still be in consideration for everything. Like especially if you're playing Cap 1.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, he's
Definitely.
so good under Cap 1.
He is Cap 1. Cap 1 is his leader. Okay, let's give him I should say there's not an affiliated or a tactics card that is specific for Vision.
Yes, there is.
Oh, there is?
Advanced R&D.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I thought I did a search for one. Yeah, advanced R&D. That's a good combination for this guy. I'd never thought of that. But
Because that action, the synthesis is not once per turn like some other characters.
that's true. He could just stand still and generate 4 power.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like
All right, let's give him a grade.
activation.
Let's give him a letter grade. I think that he is someone that people are sleeping on. I almost never see him. I know that a lot of people own him because he comes in the same box as Winter Soldier, 3-point Winter Soldier, and he's freaking everywhere. So, people should be playing this model. I'm going to give him an A minus. I think he's really good. All right, Steven, what are you thinking for Vision?
I'm thinking a B minus because he is good, but in today's meta, he's not good enough.
B minus. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, you might be very, very much on point. He is competing in the 4 slot. Okay, Brandon, what are your thoughts here on Vision?
I think it's a solid B. I think it's, like I said, his biggest downfall is he's not affiliated anywhere, and the 4 slot's really, really hard to compete in. But I mean, if you're playing Avengers, I think you really consider this model every time you're building a list, regardless of which leader you're playing.
Okay, and Brad.
B plus.
We are every stage in between B minus and A minus.
Which averages to a B plus.
All right. Well, that is Vision. That is our take on Vision. Brad, do you have any comic books that feature Vision that you want to bring to our attention?
Fred, when you said my name right there, I had a mini heart attack because I knew what you're gonna ask me for this. I was like, I didn't do that today. It's because I did it like 2 days ago. So I did have it, but I freaked out for a second because I usually do it like pretty close to the cast, but I did not today. Yeah, I've got some Vision comics. One I'm really excited for. Like, I knew immediately that this was going to be a recommendation whenever we eventually did Vision. That's the second one. But the first one is Avengers number 58. This is Roy Thomas and John Buscema. The story's called Even an Android Can Cry. This is not his first issue. It is the issue where he ends up joining the Avengers. And Vision knows that he was created by Ultron 5, but he didn't know why. So he starts looking for answers. And he is not ready for what he finds. This tells of his actual origin, like why he was created and all that stuff. Yeah.
And it's very different than the one that happened in the cinematic universe.
Yes and no, and I'll leave it at that.
Ooh, okay.
Tony Stark was definitely not involved.
Okay. All right.
Next is I typed Visions 2015 1 through 12. I think it's just Vision was the name of the series 2015. 1 through 12, that's the whole series by Tom King, Gabriel Hernandez Walta, and Michael Walsh. And this is Vision just wants a normal life, so he makes himself a family and moves to the suburbs.
Huh.
But his perfect suburban life can't last for long, of course. Things start to get weird. And if you liked WandaVision, you should check this out. Because some of this stuff was kind of an inspiration for that show.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's
it
cool.
Sounds very similar. It's
a very cool series.
Okay.
This is where we get Vision, his daughter, who has become a fairly popular character with the youth.
Huh. I've never heard of this character.
Viv is cool.
Okay. All right. Is that Are those your?
Yep, that's it. 2 recommendations.
Okay. Well, Brandon, do you have any list where you think that Vision would really shine?
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little off the beaten path here. I actually really like him in with the old Killmonger the Usurper.
Ooh.
So when you give him the herb token, he gets an extra die on his beam attack. And then when he loses it, he'll suffer damage and gain a power, so it helps him get extra power to make sure he's always rolling the most dice against whatever attack's coming at him. But having a beam force 6 die attack, I think, can really allow him to shine and allow you to play him just a little bit more aggressively.
That sounds really good.
It does sound really good.
Yeah, beam force 6 die. If you can hit 2 opponents, you're gonna have that's a guarantee of 4 power to 6 power a turn. And then that allows you to keep up for your switching, and it also allows you to make your throw in 2 beam attacks. And kind of what me and Brad agreed on, that you're never using that spender. This allows you to kind of just look past that spender.
Well, and you can occasionally do it.
Yeah, but this will allow you to make sure you're throwing great attacks into multiple characters with energy, as well as then you're in a spot where you can switch your defenses pretty easily depending on what's coming at you, and making sure you get your throw off every turn. So,
Okay, I want to know, Fred, do you know what the tactic with Vision is, by the way?
No.
You throw a character first into another character.
And then you
beam.
And then you beam.
Yep. That makes sense. That's a good
that's what
tactic.
I do with Kingpin's cane laser, boys. Put that laser up.
Oh, how often are you using that tactic?
You love that laser.
I use cane laser more than anybody in the world that plays Kingpin.
Yeah, you do.
You
yeah, because you use it.
I don't anymore as much, especially now with Dynamo. I've got 2 other beams. I don't have to cane laser as much, but you have to respect that cane laser. Especially when he gets a hammer on him, you got to respect that cane laser. For real.
Oh my. All right. So, I guess the only thing that's left is my non sequitur recommendation. So, I was gonna bring a movie that has Paul Bettany in it.
Was it?
But there's a new.
Was it Knight's Tale?
Yes, it was Knight's Tale, which is a good movie. It's actually a great movie. But instead of that, there's a show that I've been watching recently that I really want to talk about, and that is the show Blue Eye Samurai on Netflix. It is an animated show that portrays Japan in the 1600s, and at the time Japan was closed to outsiders, and there were 4 white men in Japan at the time of the main character's birth, and the main character has decided that they will hunt down and slay all 4 of these white men because they were all terrible, and one of them is the main character's father, because the main character has blue eyes. It is an outstanding anime. It is so action-packed, but it's also very heartfelt, and it also portrays Japanese culture with a lot of nuance in the ways that it is portrayed. It's really a great show, and it is worth watching. Everyone should watch it. So that's my recommendation. Blue Eye Samurai, currently streaming on Netflix.
Or you can watch Knight's Tale, which is a bona fide classic.
Which is also a bona fide classic. Okay, and that's going to be it for our show today. Thank you for joining us to talk about Vision. I will see everybody next week. Goodbye, everyone.
You're going to see everybody next week. You can't see any of us.